Welcome to Get Your Mind Right, Boots on the Ground, where we spotlight professionals in the field who have overcome challenges and how they work through them. Their stories offer real-world insights and tips for thriving in today's competitive landscape.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Get Your Mind Right, special edition of Boots on the Ground. And what this segment focuses on is people are actually out there in the trenches every day making it happen on the world's only daily podcast for payment technologies and digital professionals. Now, with me today is the Director of Sales at Evolve, Mr. Jake. No, Jake, thanks for coming back this morning.
No problem. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, for you folks that missed yesterday's episode, I suggest you go back and give it a listen. We really talked about the whole process for the digital flip in and how Jake and his people are being successful with it. But today, Jake, I really want to talk to you about what sort of advice you have for people out in the field that are typically merchant services provider. That's what they're focused on. You know, what do I look for when I'm out and I'm talking to my current clients or I'm pulling doors? How do I identify a digital prospect?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's not a lot of lift that goes into that. We want you guys to lean heavily on the internal team when it comes to the actual sale. In fact, John, we don't want the folks, the boots in the field, to get too in depth with this conversation because then it just makes it a little bit confusing on the transfer because the internal specialist may go a different route with it. So the first thing that we want to do is when you're sitting in that parking lot before you go into your business, go ahead and Google the business name, see where their business is ranking, and look at the reviews. Do they have a website today? You're going to find that many merchants don't have a website at all, or if they do have one, it's not ranking very well. Okay, so that's an issue. If you're sitting in their parking lot and say it's a countertop place and they sell countertops for kitchen remodels. If you type in, granite countertops near me in Google while you're sitting in their parking lot and they're showing like fifth or sixth down the list, and then you go in to talk to your merchant, maybe it's already a client of yours, and you say, and you just have it queued up on your phone and you say, hey, do you know John Johnson's Granite and Jake's Granite? Do you know those guys by chance? There's a high probability they're going to say, yes, they're my competitors. And you can then start the dialogue with, well, when I'm searching in your area for go-to countertop places near me, it's showing those guys. Do you feel like they're getting the vast majority of those phone calls? And the answer again is yes there. So when it comes to the digital strategy with reviews, you want to be very question-based with this. You want to ask questions like, hey, Mr. Merchant, you've been doing your processing for quite a while. I see that you have some five-star reviews, and that's great. I also wanted to, while I was in here today, just ask you, what does your strategy look like for getting your reviews? Many times they're going to say, well, strategy, what do you mean? I kind of wait for people to have a good experience, and hopefully it's good, and they will
Hmm.
go on and leave a review. Well, that's not really a strategy, and that's what we're here to help implement with Viv and Evolve. And the next thing that you can do is when you're on Google, you can search for relevant keywords. So, for example, I mentioned countertops near me. Say you're now going into your auto shop mechanic. You could say things like auto shop near me, and you could see where they rank. Is there other people above them, that sort of thing. So it's fairly easy, John, to create a conversation and dialogue with your prospects.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, let's just say that, Jake, I just really am not very good at taking instruction at all. And it's going to be hard for me to remember these things. What sort of advice, if any, would you give me?
Well, so you know, the enemy of great, is good. I think you hear that a lot, or vice versa, there, John. And that couldn't be more true when it comes to this. Best thing to do is just dive in head first on it, and participate maybe in the first few calls. You don't have to necessarily wash your hands with it once you refer it in. You can be a part of that. In fact, we want you to be a part of it. If you wanna set the appointment for one of our digital specialists and block out a time on your calendar and be present for that call, you'll start to pick up on some of that verbiage that is being used. And before long, you're going to become maybe not necessarily an expert, but you'll become versed in it to where you can bring these topics up much easier.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. Okay. So Jake, let's peel this onion back a little bit for folks that are listening today that really want to understand more of the probing, the whys here. Talk to me about how your team focuses on things like the merchant's pain points, what sort of control they have and their growth focus.
Sure. So on highlighting the why, we like to focus on three things. The first thing is focus on growth. Second thing is to address any pain points the merchant may have. And then the third is emphasize control. And so focusing on growth, what we're looking for there is ask the merchant straight up, say, hey, what are your goals for first quarter in 2025? You know, that is a question that most salespeople don't typically ask, by the way, and it's going to catch them off guard maybe, but it's a question that's going to intrigue them, and they're either going to say, well, I want to boost my customer base, I want to increase my sales, I want to boost my brand awareness, and they're already checking some boxes on exactly what we offer through our digital services. A lot of folks out there have pain points with hiring. We can also help them there. So they may say, well, John, I would love to grow my business, but I only have two auto mechanics and I would need three or four to be able to really grow. Well, we can help them there as well. So you want to be able to address these pain points. Ask them, what is your biggest challenge today? Mention items that you found during our previous, we talked about during the prospecting. You want to mention any challenges they may have and bring it back to light there. And then the last one, emphasize control. You want to ensure the merchants have control over their campaigns and budgets. A lot of times on the control side, John, what you'll find is merchants say, well, I have somebody that handles that for me already. Or, my daughter-in-law handles my website. We want to answer that with, great. We work better when you have an internal team that is dedicated and is like-minded, who can help us further boost your guys' online presence. In fact, it's preferred. A lot of times what we find, John, is people will turn away for somebody that has somebody who handles this internally for them, and that is a big mistake. We work better when they have somebody like that in place.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to take their job. I know a lot of times that's a concern of the, say it's a marketing manager at a firm for a lawyer. We're not trying to take their job. We're simply trying to work with them and amplify what they're already doing, take it to the next level.
So Jake, there's a lot of people out there, and I hear this a lot myself. They're saying, hey, listen, I just want to be merchant guy. Why do I want to be involved in digital?
Well, there's a number of reasons, John. That's a great question. Well, we want to be a one-stop shop for all your merchants' needs because at the end of the day, John, they're going to be paying somebody. They're going to be paying some agency to handle their online presence for them, whether that be website or boosted ads, et cetera. And why not just offer one company that handles this all for them? And what we like to look at is it's really a win-win for it's not only a win for your customer because you're growing their online presence, right? But John, if you're growing their online presence, what is happening to their processing volume as a result? Do you know the answer to that?
I think I know where you're going with this. Up?
Oh yeah, well it's going up, baby. Yeah. So that is tremendous value add, not only for your merchant who's going to be joyous because they're earning more customers and they're growing their business, but to you as well because you're getting the processing increase as a result.
Yeah, I get that. Well, Jake, this has been great. We're out of time for today. If you're
Okay.
available, I'd love for you to come back tomorrow morning and we can finish this up.
Absolutely, no problem.
Great. I'll see everyone here tomorrow morning.